Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Appreciate the folks who've been with us for years, and our sponsors and our listeners and our watchers and whatever we've got. But you can find us on IC Radio, also on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Everybody likes sports. Boy, did we have a weekend. AP Steadham, I know you're on top of it, and you called it, dude. We knew Auburn was going to get beat, but you called it. You said, oh, it's going to be close, and it was. It was a nail biter.
Yeah, John, I just thought that Auburn had been so disappointed and embarrassed the week before that they would play very hard and smart against Alabama, and they did. They had an excellent game plan. They ran over Alabama, Donna, for 244 yards. Yeah. I mean, that's sensational for the running game. And they threw effectively with the pass, only completed, I think it was 5, but they made some big plays on the passing game as well. And they really had. There was about 3 plays, Donna. They probably could have won the game, and that usually it doesn't happen. Usually it's maybe 1 play, but there was 3 plays. There was a 3rd and 20, and they allowed Jalen Milroe to run 19 yards, and then with a 4th and 1, so then Alabama made it. And then, of course, the 4th down play, 4th and 31. But before that, let's backtrack. They had a chance to just let the punt hit the ground. No need to catch the punt. If I'm the special teams coach, with 5 minutes remaining, we have the lead. I'm saying, look, we don't necessarily need to catch the ball. We'd like to, but if there's any indication that you're not sure about your ability to field the punt, just let it drop. Let it drop, and we'll take the consequences and run our offense from wherever it ends up at the end of the play. But he muffed the punt, and they gave Alabama a chance to score. They had some crazy things happen with the snap by Alabama, putting them back on the 31 with the 5 yards additional penalty as well. And it's 4th and 31. And when you have that defense, I think they just rushed the 2. They had a spy in the middle. So they had 8 people back there. The defender ended up on a one-on-one coverage in the left corner of the end zone. And the receiver from Alabama, Isaiah Bond, was able to shake him. And Jalen Milroe threw it on a rope. And he caught the ball in that left corner of the end zone for the winning touchdown.
It was the game, I'm telling you. You know, Phil laughs at me because I actually talk to fans. I mean, I'll say, hey, why are you crying? It's not. So I saw fans on both sides crying. I saw, you know, when it looked like Auburn might win, I saw Alabama fans actually crying sitting in the stadium. And I would say, it's not over yet. I mean, you know, so many different things can happen, and Phil would say, they can't hear you. Right. But it's true. We get all emotional about that. What is the most emotional of all teams? I'm talking all over the U.S. What do you think is the biggest rivalry team in the U.S.? And this came from Nick. He wanted to ask you that question. Is it Alabama-Auburn?
Right, yeah. No, that Alabama-Auburn, that's right up there, I believe, because they discuss it every day of the year. Somebody's mentioning that the outcome of that game. I'd say right behind it, close to it would be that Michigan, Ohio State, I would say. That's a big rivalry. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some that really reached that level. And like I said, I think those two are at the top, and then everybody else is just a notch below. I mean, Clemson, South Carolina, that's pretty strong. Just looking, you know, that Oregon State, pretty strong game out there. But I think that Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan, the top 2. When UCLA and USC have it going on, that's a strong one. That's right in the city of Los Angeles. But I just think that those are the top ones right now, and they have been for many, many years. And to have a rivalry, that means that both teams are winning at one point. I mean, you can't have a rivalry if you're just dominating the other side.
Mm-hmm. And I was glad it was a nail.
They're street, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it would be, you know, Auburn was about a 14-point underdog or so, but I thought they would be within that distance. Mm-hmm. They were ahead. Could have won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they would do things different if they could. But now, but when you're in the moment, you're in the moment. But I noticed a lot on the Auburn side, or I mean Alabama side, they were holding the ball a little too long, I thought. I mean, I know you have to have direction, you have to know what's ahead of you and that kind of thing, but there were so many times, even as an Auburn fan, I would say, throw the ball already. I mean, it's just this setting there. So who was the kicker? Do you think the kicker had a whole lot to do with
Right.
the wins?
I know Alabama's kicker, the field goal kicker missed that one, but the punter for Alabama was a nice punt. It was very high, and the Auburn return man, he just was not able to field it. So, like I said, if I'm the special teams coach, I believe I'm going to have a conversation before he walks on the field. He probably did. I didn't get a chance to ask him that question, but I'm thinking I really don't want him to field the punt. If there's any question in his mind, if he's having trouble seeing it in the lights, or his feet are not set, or he just doesn't feel comfortable at that moment, just let it drop. We'll be fine.
In your opinion, who on each team, who was the player of the game?
The player of the game on each side. Well, for Alabama, it had to be Jalen Milroe. He had 109 yards rushing, 259 yards passing. And on the Auburn side, Jarquez Hunter had a good ball game, 93 yards rushing. That was critical for Auburn to keep their momentum and make some nice drives. It took some time off the clock and put them ahead. So I'd say Hunter on one side, Milroe on the other side.
Ella sent a message. She bets they're already trying for next year. And they do. You mentioned that earlier in the show. This is a game that we, as soon as the game is over, they start planning for the next year.
Yeah, this one's going to hurt Auburn for a long time because it was within grasp, and they were coming off a disappointment, and they could have had their 7th win and beat Alabama, who's still trying to earn a berth in the college football playoffs. So they have to travel to Georgia for the SEC championship game in Atlanta this week. So yeah, this one will have Auburn fans seething for quite a while, I believe.
I think so too. Now, believe it or not, there were, and folks across the country watch this show, there were other teams who played. So let's talk about everybody else.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. Clemson and South Carolina. Clemson came out victorious. Kentucky upset Louisville at Louisville. Michigan won for the 3rd time in a row against Ohio State. I'm trying to think of some other rivalry type games. Florida State defeated the Gators of the University of Florida in Gainesville. LSU defeated Texas A&M. Missouri defeated Arkansas. Tennessee beat Vanderbilt. We always discuss Tennessee. It's 48. I think it was 48-24. I believe that score was. So, and then also I'm looking for another team across the country, a big rivalry. Oregon beat Oregon State. Puts them in a good position to play for the Pac-12 championship against Washington in Las Vegas. Washington beat Washington State in a pretty tight game as well. So there was some exciting moments in these rivalry games that ended the regular season for most teams.
One of my friends from Charlotte, North Carolina, is a huge, huge Duke fan. And he said, you know something? He said, you people in Alabama sure do take your Alabama-Auburn games seriously. Then I looked on his Facebook page, and I sent him a message back.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you people do, too.
Right. Yeah. Duke won their last game against, I think it was it Pittsburgh, I think, and then North Carolina State beat North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, some huge ones. Now I wanted to talk to you about just the beginning of the season. Football actually is something that is planned all year long. It's not just right when the season starts. What are some of the things, and this is from Rand, I think. Wait a minute. Randy. This is from Randy, right. And he said, what do they do to get ready for the next season without knowing who the players are going to be? There's a lot of recruiting happens. It's a good question.
Right. Yeah. The transfer portal date is happening here very quickly in the first part of December. Mm-hmm. So you'd be trying to recruit some of these players interested in joining your program from other schools. You're recruiting the high school players because there's an early signing date in December. You're getting ready for the bowl games. You're trying to assemble to make sure you have that quarterback position nailed down if you're in the market for a transfer quarterback, and some have already entered as we speak. It happens very fast, Donna. So you're trying to figure out if they fit your program. So yeah, it's all about the personnel right now, and then getting ready for the bowl games. I think there's an opportunity for about 80 or 82 teams. I think there's 41 bowls, Donna. So that's 82 teams that are preparing for a bowl pretty soon. They're going to make those announcements on Sunday. We might hear some preliminary ones this week, possibly, but everything will be squared away by Sunday because you're playing all these championship games on Friday and Saturday. And I don't know if there's any on Thursday, but definitely Friday and Saturday of this week.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the bowl games as well. A lot of advertising goes out there as well. So what are you most, I know the Alabama Iron Bowl is always a big one with you. Which one are you the most anxious about happening?
Don, can you repeat that question for me one time, please?
Yeah, which bowl game are you most? I know Alabama Auburn was the big one, but who are you anxiously looking forward to seeing this upcoming season? Which Iron Bowl?
The bowl games, yeah. If I heard the question correctly, I think you said something about the Iron Bowl. Was it next year? You asked me about it next year?
No. What of the remaining bowl games? Which one are you anticipating most? Yeah, I think we got a little
the
delay.
Bowl game I'm anticipating the most.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think there's a slight delay. Yeah, the bowl game. Well, on Sunday we're going to find out who are the 4 teams in the college football playoffs. So I think that's the question that I'm waiting anxiously to hear, and I think most of the people across the country, because that'll be announced this Sunday, Donna. The semifinal games will be held at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans and the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So we're waiting to have those 4 teams announced. And then after that, everything filters down to who's going to play in the other bowls throughout the country.
Who do you think is going to make it to the Rose Bowl?
Oh, yeah, the Rose Bowl. So, Donna, there's a number of teams right now. I mean, Georgia's in the mix because they're one of the top-rated teams. Michigan, Ohio, Washington is undefeated. Florida State's undefeated. Texas has the 1 loss. Alabama's sitting with 1 loss. But all these teams, and Oregon has the 1 loss. So all these teams are going to be participating in a championship game of their conference this weekend. So they have to win those games to continue in the college football playoffs, I believe.
Absolutely. AP, let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Okay.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256 996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdy.lawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
My Towels solved a problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wouldn't dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You may find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching Monday through Friday, and also the special thanks to the Etowah County Chamber of Commerce. They also air our show throughout the lobby, beginning at 1 p.m. going through Roku. And we definitely appreciate that as well. I've got AP Steadham with me right now. AP and Kelly, as we see it, what's going on with the show?
Yeah, Donna, this week we're probably going to zero in on this important championship game for the SEC between Alabama and the SEC Western Division and the champion from the SEC Eastern Division, Georgia. Big ball game, a lot of implications and ramifications for the two teams. I believe both teams, if they want any chance to be in the playoff, especially Alabama, they have to win. Georgia possibly can lose the game and still be in the college football playoffs, but I wouldn't recommend it. The way the season's progressing and all these teams around the country, there's still some undefeated programs, and they might have the edge if they win out. And you're trying to present your case to the committee with one loss. So we're going to zero in on that game, probably have a guest involved and that knows about the two teams or really is someone who's following college football at high level. So, but we have a lot of fun. AP and Kelly, as we see it every Friday on IC Radio, 4 p.m. Central. That is every Friday on IC Radio, 4 p.m. Central. We really appreciate you having us on your network.
It's our honor. And so let me ask you about last week. You guys had an interesting show last Friday.
Yeah, we did, Donna. You know, we always talk about every team. Of course, this was a great weekend because of the rivalry games, and the Iron Bowl was at the top, of course. So we had Walter Lewis, who was the former University of Alabama quarterback from Bruton, Alabama. So he played in that Iron Bowl, all through his career. So it was fun to have him discuss playing quarterback in the state of Alabama. It's an important position outside of maybe it used to be outside of the governor, maybe, or whatever. Everybody knew the Auburn and Alabama quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We just had another message sent from Tim, and he wanted to know which team could give Georgia the biggest fit. And I'm quoting him.
Which team could get Georgia the biggest fit?
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, I think Michigan is a very good football team. They play good defense, and when you have a Georgia team that's scoring over 30 points a game, number one, you have to stop them first to have a chance. So Michigan is a team that probably can give Georgia a run for their money. And there's some other teams too. I think Florida State, they lost their quarterback, Jordan Travis, but they have good receivers. Maybe if they have some time with the other quarterback, he can develop a rapport, and because they have very good receivers at Florida State. Now, anytime you have excellent receivers, you can depend on them to win those 50-50 balls. You can get the ball in the air and let's say, all right, let's go get it. So, but I think Michigan's probably the strongest team right now. Alabama plays pretty good defense, but like I said, they've given up some rushing yards this season. It's 244 against Auburn. That's way too many yards on the ground, and plus Georgia can throw the football effectively. Auburn doesn't throw the ball that well, so they had the large portion of their offense dedicated to the run, but Georgia can run and pass. They're extremely well.
What would have to happen, and this is from Melissa, what would have to happen for Alabama and Georgia to be in the Rose game?
Yeah, to have to be in the playoffs game, Alabama would have to beat Georgia, and then you have to have some other teams lose. Florida State has to play Louisville in their championship game. Michigan has to play Iowa. Oregon plays Washington. Texas has to play Oklahoma State. So you'd have to see some losses in some of those other conference games for both teams, Alabama and Georgia, to make the college football playoffs to the Final Four. But like I said, Georgia has a great resume of wins. They dominated this year against most of the teams. They had a tough game against Georgia Tech. That's a rival, but they won. But that's what would have to happen. Some other teams would have to lose in their championship game.
Who is your top five in the SEC? Then let's go nationwide. Your top five.
Yeah, top five. Yeah, definitely Georgia. You have to put Alabama second. I would put Missouri third. I'd probably put Ole Miss fourth, and probably LSU fifth. And then nationwide, I'd have Michigan at this point.
Over
Have Georgia in there. Looking at Washington, Florida State, and then that fifth team. Right now, I'd probably put Texas, I guess, that fifth team, with Oregon right behind and Alabama behind them.
Carol sent a message and she said, enough with football. She's ready for basketball. She's a huge basketball fan. Do you have any words to say for us as far as the teams and how they're progressing right now, getting ready for basketball?
Oh, how the team's doing in basketball? That's the question. Yeah. I was able to see Alabama play basketball this weekend actually against Ohio State down in Niceville, Florida, the Emerald Coast Classic, and there was a close ball. Well, it was a double-digit loss for Alabama. Ohio State played very well, put 90 points on Alabama. And Auburn's a team to watch, of course, and Tennessee. So all the three teams that we usually discuss in football, they should have excellent basketball teams: Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for that season as well. So let's talk just a minute about the coaches. I know so many good coaches out there. So who is your coach of the week?
Yeah, coach of the week. I got to look at Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri. He ended up with a nice season at 10-2. They lost to LSU at home by 10 points, and then they went on the road, lost to Georgia by 9. I think that he was on the hot seat, and they have a chance to win 11 games and go to a New Year's Day bowl. I like Eli Drinkwitz for what he did with the Missouri program, considering their circumstances. I mean, Georgia with Kirby Smart undefeated, he was fantastic all year. I mean, their team played terrific. Most weekends, they just outclassed everybody. I mean, by a big score usually. So, Kirby Smart was fantastic, and yes, other team in the SEC, Eli Drinkwitz, I'd say, did a nice job with his team.
And then your kicker of the week, who would that be?
Oh, the kicker of the week, Donna. Gee, I don't have anybody specific. I really don't have anybody in mind for the kicker. I'd say, the Alabama punter. He hit it high and hit it long, and the Auburn return man fumbled. So maybe that was the kick of the week. It wasn't a field goal, but
I guess it
sure was an effective punt.
Absolutely. And then there was the fight, the little brawl close to the end of the game at the Alabama-Auburn game. So Rachel said, let them fight. Why do we have to have all of these rules? I say, don't let them fight.
Oh, yeah, at the end there, you're talking about the little pushing and shoving at the end there. Yes, yeah, there was some little punches thrown too. I haven't reviewed that, but I was there. It was right in front of me, actually, but I didn't have a chance to review my video on it.
Yeah, I mean, boy, I'll tell you what, the tension gets out there with the volleyball games as well. AP, less than a minute left. What would you like to say before you go?
Don, I missed the question. I didn't hear the question.
Well, about 30 seconds left. What would you like to say before we go?
Just, people be watching that SEC championship game, which Alabama's going to have to play much better defensively. You can't let the team run through you like they did on Saturday, because Georgia, as I said, they're effective throwing the ball as well. It'll be a big offensive day for the Bulldogs if Alabama doesn't play better on defense.
Absolutely. Well, we got to call it a day. AP, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to next week as well. You have a good time.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge on IC Radio. See you next time.
Bye-bye now.